What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you are not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and also tap the bell to make sure that you are notified of every new video that I post. My video schedule is usually vlogs on Tuesdays and videos on Friday that are Financial Freedom Fridays, where we talk about everything finance. So as you can tell by the title of this video, today's video is going to be my November budget with me. If you watch my October budget with me video, there are a couple of things that are going to be changing this month, which I will detail as we go along. But the biggest thing that's changing is that I'm doing this in a different type of planner. My last video was done in this very basic planner that I got from Target, but I actually switched over to a planner that I created myself. I actually have a financial wellness program that I'm very excited about that will be launching very soon, and I decided to create a planner that goes along with it. The reason why I did this is because I came up with the financial wellness program myself, and the financial planning is a lot different from most budgeting, plans. There are no planners out there on the market that will go specifically with my specific financial plan. So there are certain pages that I'm not going to be showing because it will just literally confuse you and you will have no idea why it's being used that way, because you have to purchase my financial wellness program for you to understand it. But the very first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and use the monthly spread. And I like to lay out all of my paydays as well as all of my bills. And I like to do this because I can see everything at a glance. I can see which bills need to be paid with which payday and everything like that. So what you will see on the side over here, I'm not actually going to use, but these little circles have dollar signs in them with a cross. So every day that I have a no spend day, I can just color in that circle. And so there are the number of circles on the side that correlate with the certain number of days for that month and that week. So you can see the first 3 days of the first week of November are actually in October, so that's why the first 3 circles are missing. Okay, so the only thing that I won't be doing in this planner is put in my quotes of the month and of the week in here, only because this is just a preview. The actual planner is like 270 pages. I only printed out with Office Depot the last 3 months of the year just so I could make sure that it was functioning the way I needed it to for my financial wellness plan and program. So the printing is very standard and basic. The real printing will, like certain pages, like this page will be on like card stock type of paper and different things like that. So don't pay attention to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and lay out my paydays, and I get paid every Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and use this blue color. And another thing that will be changing this week, or I'm sorry, not this week, this month, is the fact that I have 3 more income streams coming in this month. And so actually I'm not going to use this one. I'll use these. So I will be putting that in, and you guys will see how I'm going to incorporate those additional streams of income when you see me towards the end plan out each of my paychecks. So for those of you all who are new, I am self-employed, and the business that I am a part of, that I'm an independent business owner, contractor, rep, whatever you want to call it, we get paid every Friday. One of the streams of income that I'm adding in November is paid every Friday as well, but I'm only using one sticker to incorporate or correlate that. And then if you guys watched one of my recent vlogs, I did talk about getting back into nursing, which I have finally finished all of my training so I can finally start picking up shifts. I do only plan to work 1 shift a week, And but for November, I might work 2 shifts a week just so I can catch up on some stuff. For those of you all who don't know, I did move recently at the very end of September, so some of those moving expenses were way more than I thought they were, so I just want to use some nursing money to catch up on that. But after I work for probably about a month or 2, I'm dropping down to 1 shift a week. This is not something where I need the money. I miss nursing, and this is a way for me to continue on my debt plan without slowing down just because I have additional bills now that I didn't have before. So the only other payday that I have to add, and I think, I can't remember if there are more stickers back here. Oh, yeah, they were. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this blue color for this payday here. There we go. And then I'm gonna use a regular Sharpie marker to write payday into these stickers. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is start laying out my bills. You guys will notice I do not have a lot of bills. Even though I live on my own now, I still don't have a lot of bills. I'm just not one who just has bills for no reason, I'm just be honest. So there's not a blue one for rent, but I'll go ahead and use this yellow one just because it has a little blue in there. And then I'll go ahead and write in the amount. My rent is $810.70. You guys will see when I plan out my paychecks, I do use my real numbers. The only thing I can't really use my real numbers on is my income. I have to estimate. I am self-employed. I don't know how much money I'm gonna make. I just guesstimate how much. And I will explain that whole process when you guys see me plan out my paychecks. All right, so the next bill that I have is due on the 14th of the month. And I'm gonna go ahead and just use these stickers here. And we can use this blue. So the first bill is MailChimp, and that is $10 a month. And I'll just write in MailChimp under it. The next one is my car insurance, which is due on the 19th. And now I'm realizing that this thing is green, but at least it has a little blue in there. My car insurance is $108.17, and that's with Progressive. And then I also have another bill due on the 19th, and that is my chiropractor. And I pay $70 a month for that. And I'll just write in Cairo. All right, the next one is the 22nd. And that bill is $11.95. And that's with HostGator. That's just for all of my website hosting, which I have multiple. Then we have 23rd. This is $34.95. This is my financial success membership where I learn about finance stuff. Then we have the 24th. So now we're getting into like house bills. So the 24th is my gas bill, which they don't have one on here. What did I use last time? I have no idea. Oh, I do know what I used. So I'm gonna go in this book and get the, and I just ripped that out by accident. Whoops. So one of these clear pages. All right, so I'm just gonna use one of the, I know this is really for gas in your car, but I don't use stickers for stuff like that. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And that's gonna be Spire. And I don't know how much exactly that's gonna be yet, but I did estimate that it'll be about 50 bucks. I have a gas stove and it's not cold enough where I'm using my heat or anything like that, but my last bill for 8 days of use was $10. And so for the month, 8 goes into 30 almost 4 times. So I just multiplied the $10 by 4, and then I just added some extra money just for, like, you know, a processing fee and stuff like that. So I'm just overestimating, which if you're somebody who has an irregular income, I always suggest that you underestimate your income and overestimate your bills. That way you kind of save yourself and don't overspend. All right, so the next one is my electric bill, which is due on the 26th. And that is with Ameren. And I'm going to estimate $55. So far, I get emails every week, like estimating my usage and how much they think that my monthly bill will be. And it said the last time I checked $46, and I haven't had the air on or anything like that. So I'm just gonna overestimate a little. And then for the internet, we'll use this Wi-Fi symbol that's also due on the 26th. And that's so crooked, but that's all right. And I have internet through Charter, and that is $44.99. So I'll just put 50. For some reason, my first bill was, I believe, $54.98, and that included a $10 one-time, I guess, activation fee. But there were no taxes and fees associated with this, so I'm just gonna assume that every bill from here on out won't have taxes and fees either. So the $44.99 should be $45, not 50. My bad. So I'll just put 45. If I do get some kind of transaction fee or taxes and fees this month, then I'll just start incorporating that. My bill will be the same. The last two that I have, one is for my roadside assistance, which I use this one again. That is due on the 27th, and that is crooked, but that's okay. And it's $7.99 a month. And the last one is my car note. That is due on the 30th. And that is with BMO, and my car note is $262.53. I do not have cable. I will never have cable. There are other bills that people have that I do not have and will not have. So that's pretty much it for this part. So I can kind of see, like, all right, you know, the very first 2 weeks of the month, I'm pretty much good on bills. The only thing I have to pay is like groceries and stuff like that. Because my rent, and you guys will see this when I plan out my paychecks, my rent for November, I've already saved up in October. So it's really paid with October's income. So when you guys see me plan out my paychecks, you guys will see me incorporate December's rent in. So I literally have no bills the first 2 weeks of November, essentially, which is pretty cool. And I set my other bills, like non-house bills, up this way a long time ago, just because I knew with me moving, eventually my rent would be on the 1st through sometime between the 1st and the 5th. So I wanted my rent to be the only bill that I had due before my big paychecks, which my usual big paychecks are the second Friday of every month. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is lay out my budget, which I need to cover up a few pages, so give me a second. All right, so again, I'm only covering up certain parts of the planner because you will not understand it and you will be confused, and then you won't pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and write out my fixed expenses again. Now, usually I'll actually do this page first and then I'll flip to the monthly side. So it just kind of depends, but either way, I have the information already written down so I know what I need to write down. So my rent is actually only $810, but I have to pay for a 70-cent money order. So I just put that in the cost of the rent. So I'll write out $810.70. My electricity, again, I am budgeting $55 for. gas, and this is gas like a utility. I am budgeting $50 for. I don't pay a water bill and I don't have a trash bill. My cell phone, I don't have to start paying again until January. The internet is $44.99, which I'm just gonna put $45. I have no cable, no life insurance. The health insurance, I don't have regular health insurance. I talk about this in every video that this comes up. I keep getting denied. It's not my fault. It just is what it is. Hopefully this year during open enrollment, I will be able to get access to health insurance. But for now, I'll just put my $70 a month chiropractor bill in there. The car insurance is $108.17. I don't have renter's insurance. Well, I do have the renter's insurance, but I paid for the year, so I don't have a monthly bill associated with that. My car note is $262.53. I have no student loans and I no longer have any credit cards. My last credit card payment will actually be this Sunday, which is exciting. And you guys will, next week, you guys will see my October budget report card where I go through all of the debt that I was able to pay off, how much I was able to save, and different things like that. All right, so for this portion, I'm gonna be budgeting $300 for groceries. I budgeted $250 originally in my October budget with me. Then I dropped it down to $200 because I thought I was good. And I believe I spent about almost $250 this month so far. So I'm just gonna go ahead and up it to $300. You guys will understand that I am not on a strict budget. If I overspend, I overspend. If I underspend, I underspend. The certain way that I do my finances, it is okay. All right, so I'm not on an every dollar budget like most people. I don't do that. So for personal, my personal and household, I pretty much kind of keep together. So I'm just gonna write 100 in, and that also incorporates the household. Restaurants, I'm gonna say 100, and I believe I'm gonna end up overspending on restaurants this month because this Friday when I get paid, that follows me to the next Friday. So I still have one more week of restaurants, which I pretty much only eat out on the weekends. So I cook Sunday through Thursday and then I eat out on the weekends. I just feel like I should be able to enjoy my money and not have to cook all the time. So for gasoline, I'm gonna do $150. I did $80 last month, and I've already spent $70 on gas this month, and I actually need to fill up. My gas tank is on E now. So yeah, I'm just gonna up that to $150. There are certain things that have been incorporated into my life that is causing me to drive a lot more than usual. Usually I only have to fill up once every like 6 to 8 weeks. So this is something new for me, having to like pay for gas a lot, and it's actually kind of annoying. Shopping, I just do $100. This does not just include like clothes and shoes. This includes a lot of different things. Personal will include household as well as like if I need hair products or anything like that. Shopping is just different shopping stuff. I don't do anything for recreation. The only thing I will do, I don't know if I want to write it here. I'll just write it down here. So I take supplements. I take maca root complex to balance my hormones because I do have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And then I also take black seed oil pills. I hope that I can start taking the actual oil, but that stuff is disgusting. So for supplements, it is $60. So let me make sure I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 650, 8, 10. Okay, yep, that's correct. So the total budgeted expenses are $810, and my total fixed expenses is $1401.4. And you guys can't see that, but now you can. So at the bottom, I put my total fixed expenses and then my total budgeted expenses. Okay, so the last part of the budget with me is me planning out my paychecks. This is something that's really important, especially if you are somebody who has trouble, like maybe you get paid bi-weekly and you notice that maybe you have more money left over after bills on one paycheck and then you're completely broke with another. If you plan out your paychecks, you might notice that maybe all of your bills or the majority of your bigger bills are coming out of one paycheck and you don't have a lot coming out of another. So if that's happening, just rearrange some of your bills. There should be no point in the month where you are living paycheck to paycheck or you're broke. You just need to start reducing some of your expenses and moving expenses around as well. So one thing I will point out again, and I talked about this at the very beginning, I am self-employed. I have to estimate. Now, I usually, if you watch my October budget with me video, I usually just do my budget based on $2,500 a month in income. As some of you all know, I've been fully self-employed for over 4 years now. I used to be a registered nurse, which again, I'm getting back into nursing on a less than part-time basis starting next week. But my salary, for the most part, as a new grad was about $2,400 to $2,700 a month. So I based my income on $2,500 a month. I walked away from my nursing job when I replaced my nursing income with my business income. There have been very few months in the last 4 years where I made less than $2,000, or I'm sorry, not less than $2,000, less than $2,500 a month. The only times that happened were the spans of time where I needed to take a break from building my business. And of course, when you take breaks, your revenue goes down, your commissions go down. That just is the way that it is. So I do everything based on $2,500. But because I do have 3 new income streams coming in November, I will be upping that $2,500 to $3,500. Now, again, because I'm estimating and because I'm self-employed, I'm completely lowballing because I feel like if I can fit my expenses and everything in a completely lowballed amount, then everything I earn on top of that will actually just be extra income I could put towards debt and different things like this. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out. If I had a regular job, you guys, I promise you I would use my real numbers. I do know there are budgeters out there that feels like their income is private, their rent amount is private. And while I do believe that it is a private thing, at the same time, we're putting this information out there so that if you are somebody who earns the same income that I earn and you see how I lay my bills out and you see how much I'm paying on average for certain things, but you also see that I'm able to pay off a lot of debt with that income, it will be inspiring for you and help you to understand that you can do it too. So unfortunately, because I don't get paid a certain amount, I can't share my real numbers, but if I did, I promise I would. So the first thing with planning out my paychecks, at the very, very top, I'm gonna go ahead and write out my budgeted expenses again. PH stands for personal household. So groceries, I said $300. There are 4 weeks in November according to my paycheck. So I get paid every Friday, well, and these additional paydays, but there are 4 Fridays in the month, so I'm going based off of 4 weeks. So 300 divided by 4 is $75 a week. Then we have $150 for gas, which equates to $37.50 a week. Personal household is $100, which is $25 a week. Then we have restaurants is $100, again $25 a week. Then the last thing I have is my supplements. I do not count my supplements in, like I don't break it down to a weekly type of thing. I just end up adding it in and you guys will see that. But my supplements are $60 a month. So this will equate to $810, which, oh wait, I have to subtract the 60. Yeah, so we subtract the 60, so that is really $750. Divide that by the 4 weeks and you're looking at $187.5 or $187.50 per week on the budgeted items. So the next thing that you want to do is actually detail out your paychecks. Now, even though I have other paychecks that happen throughout the week, I only write out the Fridays of every month because I do my budgets on a week-to-week basis, if that makes sense. Like I go grocery shopping every Friday, different things like that. So because I get paid at different times of the month as well, at the end of the week when I do start doing my allocations, how much money am I putting towards debt and stuff like that, I do it based on the total income I made for that entire week, if that makes sense. So the very first paycheck is November 3rd. Then we have November 10th. November 17th. Then November 24th. So last month, what I did was $250 for these 3 weeks. And then again, my bigger paychecks happen on the second Friday of every month. And again, these numbers are completely lowballed. So I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, and add in $1,000, but I'm gonna do it based on when the paydays happen. So one of my paydays will happen this week. So this Friday, between this Friday and this Friday is when that one of those extra paydays will happen, and I'm gonna lowball that at $100, which means that this week the total income to budget is $1,850. I'm gonna keep $250 there, and then this week I'm gonna add in $500 because one of the extra paydays happens on the 15th, which is between these two paydays, so it happens here. And so this one I'm gonna do $750. All right, you guys, sorry, my camera actually died on me, and I tried to record on my Canon T3i, and I forgot that the memory card doesn't work well with that camera. So now we are back again. So the only thing I actually ended up stopping, but I added $500 to this week, which equates to $750, and then this week I lowballed and added $400 to that week, which means that that week is $650. So the next thing that you want to do is draw lines, and last month I didn't really care what the lines look like, but now that I'm in a planner, I kind of do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw vertical lines, and you guys will see why in just a sec. Okay, that's good. We'll do this one here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but my lines were like really, really crazy looking last time. All right. So let me make sure I'm in focus. Okay, so now I'm basically gonna do the same thing that I did on the monthly calendar, the monthly spread, and I'm gonna write down the bills that are associated with each payday. Now here's the thing, even though these are my paydays on Friday, it doesn't hit my account until Saturday. So any bills that I have due on the day of payday, I'll put it in the previous payday just to make sure that, you know, the bill is covered with the previous payday, since the money doesn't hit my account until Saturday, sorry. So again, I don't have any bills that come out from here to here, so I'm just gonna write in the budget, which is $187.50, and so that will leave me with $62.50 here. And then I am almost out of one of my supplements, so I will go ahead and write in the supplements here, since it can be covered with this that is left over. So we have $2.50 left over there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this all the way around, even though I won't buy both of my supplements on this day because I just bought one of my supplements like 2 weeks ago and it's a monthly supply. I'm still gonna go ahead and write it all in there. So next we have MailChimp. Again, MailChimp is due on the 14th, and that is $10. Then you have, let's see, that is actually the only bill there. So I can go ahead and write in the budget of $187.50, and let's go ahead and start off. So we have $18.50 minus 10 is $18.40. Go ahead and subtract the budgeted amount. Now, here is where I go ahead and set aside the money for my rent. So again, my rent is $18.70, which means that it can't be covered by any of these paychecks but this one. Now, if you are somebody who again gets paid let's say you get paid every 2 weeks and your rent is $800 a month, feel free to go ahead and set aside $400 per paycheck off to the side. And this again is for people who maybe you struggle with making sure that you keep your spending together, and you know, let's say your rent is due and you're kind of short. This is something that you can do. What I actually do, I do not keep the money in my regular bank account. I transfer it to my Ally savings because, for one, because I'm setting aside the money this week, that means that the money is going to be sitting there not accruing interest for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I go ahead and transfer it to my Ally savings account, not the checking, the savings account. And I also have an Ally checking account, so that when I am ready to get my money order for my rent, I just transfer the $810.70 from the savings account to the checking account, and then I swipe my card and go ahead and get the money order. I like this a lot better than keeping it in my checking account, because sometimes if you keep the money for your rent or like bigger expenses, bigger bills, that's not due for weeks at a time, you might end up spending money that you don't really have, because you forget that your checking account only looks like that because you haven't paid rent yet, or you haven't paid your large car note, or whatever the case may be. So if you are somebody who has a problem with spending, I highly suggest that you do this. I would not keep it in a savings account that is attached to the checking account you always use, because it's very easy for you to just transfer it straight back to your checking and use it. So yeah, that's my little spiel on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and write in my rent of $810.70, and that leaves me with $841.80, and that should be it there. So here we have Progressive, and that's $108.17. Then I have the chiropractor is $70. HostGator is $11.95, and I'm gonna put December here just so I can make sure that you guys understand that this is my December rent that I'm putting off to the side to pay rent the following month. Next is my Financial Success memberships, $34.95. Then we have Spire, which is my gas company, and that is $50 that I budgeted. And actually, as you're doing this, you should probably subtract along the way, so that you can make sure that you're not overspending. All right, so $641.83. Then we have $571.83. $559.88, $524.93. Now, I would suggest that you write out the bills regardless if it's going to make that week negative or not, because you can always reconcile at the end. If you did not watch my I think it was the last Friday, it should be the video titled How to Properly Plan Every Paycheck You Earn. And if you have not seen that video, I'll put it in the eye in the sky. But that one, I do have weeks where it is negative, so I show you how to reconcile at the end. But I know with adding this extra money every week, it's not going to end up being any week where I need to reconcile. All right, and then over here we have Ameren, which is my electric company. I budgeted $55. Charter, I'm gonna do $45 for $44.99. The roadside is $7.99. BMO is my car note, that's $262.53, and then we have the budget left of $187.50. All right, so we're gonna go out and do the same thing. Uh-oh, 98. Right? Yeah. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to go ahead and do is just put a box around the final numbers for each week. And then I'm going to go ahead and add up those amounts. So this helps me to know, like, let's say I know I have an expense coming up that's not really budgeted in, but it's something I need to get done. Like, let's say my car tags were due or something like that. I would know that the best time, because my car tags are usually like $300 or so, I would know that the best time for me to pay for my tags is out of this week, because this is where that charge would be covered without me needing to borrow from other weeks, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and add up all of those amounts. So my total that I have is $1,223.71, which again is a complete lowball. But out of this is what I have where I can put towards debt. I can save. As you guys know, my true emergency and my mini emergency funds are fully funded. And the only debt that I have now is my car note, and I actually do have a tax debt now. I paid off my previous years of tax debt earlier this year, but I did file an extension for last year, so that just got pushed through on the 16th. I do not know the full balance of that because I'm not sure yet if I want to take money out of my savings to pay it or what, because it's not really an emergency, but at the same time, if I have the money there and don't want to incur fees, that is the best way for me to do it. All right, so that is my November budget with me. You guys were able to see me lay out my bills on the monthly spread, as well as doing the budgeted items in the list and also planning out every single one of my paychecks. Please thumbs up this video and also share with anybody you know who needs a little bit of help when it comes to finance and budgeting and different things like that. And I will see you guys in the next video.